Hello, 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 hello. Hope you can hear. Hello, hello. Of course, we'll directly get started within 2 minutes. So just wait a few seconds. Okay. Today we are going to talk about the concealed doors, also known as hidden doors. So we will help you to analyze how to draw some of the deckers, something called hidden doors or concealed doors. Yeah. So today we are going to have not only one way to create that thing, but also we have different ways and also the logic. Later we will share online. So hope you can just stay focused and to our content and just wait for one more minute. Okay, so hello everyone, welcome to the Coohom Online Tool Show, and today I'm going to still to tell you some of the skills to create the interior decor, and known as some concealed doors or the hidden doors. Actually, you can see they are some of the combination from the construction and with the doors and windows most of the time you see here the hidden doors, and actually we can directly use some, of course, in our tool we can directly use some of the models from public library. For example, if you directly search for the concealed doors or the hidden doors, you will have you can have some of the models. Okay, you can have some of the models or directly use. Yeah, that's the thing. And from the very beginning, the easiest way, just need to put, okay, and in our tool, actually, we all require that for those doors, you need to have at least one side of the wall, okay, at least one side of the wall. So in this way, you can directly use some of the deckers, but still that's not so precise. And today, actually, I would like to show you some of the ways, okay. We first to introduce from the easiest, for example, you can see some of these doors, they are already there with the choices. So what you need to do is just to select and put. The key thing is not to create the door, for example, these kind of the doors. So the key thing is not to create, but is to how to handle with the other component. Okay, just for example, next to the doors, and here I show you with that. So first you can put, but how about the other rest part? For example, here, okay, just check about the dimension if it is proper. And actually we do have the function here for the two key material brush. So you can definitely click and paste. Okay, pave to other area and then show like this. Actually, this also the valuable function in our tool that we can create. And also don't forget, actually some of these really flat doors, we also have can see some of the content, okay, that already lies with the gaps. So actually for the next, okay, for the next is actually to know how can we do the continual lines. For example, you can directly see here we got this measure, okay. For example, I choose this one and I can click from the dot, for example, to mark out, okay, what exactly the surface is. At this moment, you can use this function called elevation. Yeah, the elevation will allows you to directly see from some of the dimensions, okay, ceiling, elevation here, okay, and then check about the lines, for example, measure here to the top is about uh, 2086 lines here. So you can click back 3D wall editor. Yeah, that's also something you need to combine with the decker. It's not only to put the doors. Putting the doors is easy because our system already recognize all the walls and then you can put it there. But the key thing is how can we combine them together with the walls? Okay, because concealed doors, it means actually those deckers with the deckers functions. And at this moment, here, wall editor using the guideline 2086. Okay, this is the target, and then what you need to do do drawing that rectangle. Okay, and here just click from the starting point. Of course, you can just draw here, for example, draw a big one, and now click table to switch. Then, for example, 5 or 3. Right? Yes, really thin. Okay, just make sure that it joined together with the lines, and then turn back to black. Okay, the patterns, you can just select the color, for example, the here, yeah, this is glass, no, yeah, this one, black galaxy, put it here, same here, okay, and also shares the same logic. If you want, you can continue drawing that, and even the same, for example, if you want to draw those deckers, see, still 5, okay. After finish drawing, you don't have to do really hard working on each one because you can click, have the array. Also, you can holding down the shift button to do the drawing as well. For example, click, holding down this, okay, to give them all, or just before that, allow me to give the pavings material, okay, 3 area, 1, 2, 3. Now using the array. Rectangle, linear is up to your choice. My favorite, I will use the linear. For example, fixed this one, fixed the numbers. Okay, linear, fixed quantity. For example, 5. So click and to go. See. Actually, you can just directly have the result accordingly. Sometimes from the specific area, it's not so, you don't have to do really precise. For example, just like this one. And then the same here. After finish all the drawing, you can have some very unique design style for the doors. Yeah. Also, okay, so maybe just a little gap, but still mark out the area and then combine them together. So this will be some kind of the ways. Okay, let me clear all the decoration. This is the first kind. So it's really easy to have the result something like this one. See, actually, what you need to do is just drawing and then do some attachings. But just pay attention, if you select the normal model, you can't definitely have that. If you really want to have something like with the opening status, the door status, you need to change a little bit. For example, this time, you want to open the door. So first, floor plan, using the door opening, okay? And of course, check into D, check about the status, for example, 2.3, okay? And the width, maybe 1 meter or 1.1, okay? It's up to your choice. But this time, you need to generate back the gap. For example, this time, advanced tool. Yeah, now we use the custom modeling, the easiest way using the custom modeling. And then you can have, for example, you can directly have the rectangle drawing back. Okay. And then, of course, if this kind of gap filling is not too sealed too much, you can also here leave an offset, a gap 5, let's say. Here, of course, delete. Okay. Before that, maybe you need to pay attention about the button. See the button side. Yeah. To draw continually. For example, here. Oh, sorry, line. Okay. Just break the point. Okay. And delete those lines. Oh, sorry. Here to delete these lines. This one as well. And then push and pull. For example, you don't have to put that much. Let's say 120. Okay. The default setting is the entire thickness of the wall is around, for example, the default 240. At this moment, I just need a half of it, even thinner, and then group. So you can directly use the function in the custom modeling to rotate. See, you can rotate and then put into the correct position. Also change about the status. Of course, you can change by moving. For example, move the point approximately like this one. And then finally, you can leave the gap. Of course, if you want to adjust the thickness, we can use the scale. You can continue to change the thickness and do the movement into the proper positions or with the proper angles. See, yeah, something like this one. Now you can see. Actually, you just need to pave the exactly same material, and you can find out this. Yeah, the same situation shows like this. Same material. You just have to put the same material, and then here the different lines, gap lines, you can draw on the wall editor. And of course, just leave the gap. Remember to leave the gap unless you really want to seal them up. Okay, it's a really entire unique design. Okay, but the some of the design might show, for example, you can also use this kind of uh, preset model in here to check in advanced tool to see if you have the doors and window. Okay. And here in doors and windows, that actually this is the kind of a tool we create them by the parametric editor. The parametric editor, you can find some very special parametric model. For example, here we got the doors, concealed solid wood concealed doors. You see, actually here, it's really convenient. And even if you use this kind of a model, you can open or close the door. But the key thing is that some of the doors may not directly satisfy our demand. For example, here, concealed doors from the parametric model. Once you click something, some models like this one, you see, first, of course, from the different viewing, seeing that it's not correct, you can rotate and see this is the backwards, okay? And also some kind of a decker, for example, like this, it's easy for us to do some adjustment in here. You can see the custom variable, the advanced index. So you can find out left width means here, right width means here. For example, if I really want to cover them, I can directly type in the number. For example, copy this one, right width. Yeah, I can make it almost full cover. To see you can have that result. The gap, it means actually uh, the thickness of the frame, okay, frames. So for example, if you minus 50, that is full cover, you can see. So as this kind of a model, the the best thing is to show, for example, it really contains the details. It really contains the detail that you can open and close the doors. And by the way, if you want to set here, you can have the preference on your avatar. Yeah, we do have the customize. You can change the door open angle, and then you can see those with a different status. And also you can have, for example, the changings, okay? And more opening, open out. You have different dimensions, left or right, seeing that. And also for the variable index changing, you can actually to control all the detail things, even the height above. This one means the height above. See, you can change for the full frame design. Okay, so what's the limitation here? Actually, some of the models cannot change like this, cannot be changed like this. For example, like this one. Let me show. Yeah. Maybe you think that, okay, is it possible to get a use by automatically generate another slide of the fake door? Can we do that? But actually, no. In here, you see, if you change for the right side, see, it's just actually just directly to extend the length, but as an entire slide is not duplicate. So just pay attention. Some of these kind of a model is unable to give you that really precise designing. So when we use that, actually you can use with, for example, within kind of a scenario that if you can put this here and to full cover the entire independent side of the wall. If you can do that, you can use because you can change uh, independently. For example, the width from the middle. Let's assume that like this one, and then you can also check about the status. For example, left width the same, right width the same, and then you can use it. So just pay attention about the different ways of using. Okay. And also some of the heads, you see the height, it means the upper area. If you put it really narrow, the head here, the door head, it will gone. It's gone. So it's also kind of a changing. Just pay attention about this using. It's in the doors and windows. Okay, doors and windows, solid wood conceal. And if you want, you can also use these kind of decker. This is in entirely the flat. See, they are flat, really flat. decors. So what you need to do is just click and to put, and here with the thickness. So just pay attention about the difference. You have the advantage from using the parametric, but still you will have some limitation in using that. Okay, so just pay attention about the using, and then you can just directly use. And even for here, the really basic one is just literally a kind of normal door. So try to understand the difference and the limitations. Yeah, you can use it properly. Okay, this one, and this is like the grid wall panel, and this is like the continued, okay, separated panels. So you can also use them. These two can extend freely because there's just duplicate with the unit. But here, it's kind of it's kind of directly extend for one slide. The slide cannot be automatically duplicated. So this is a limitation, okay, from here. And if you want to combine this function with some wall decor, you can also change back to close that. Okay, in close that public library, we do have for example, the wall panels. These also are parameterized. So you can also use them even for the, for example, here. See, we have the flat. We also have for the grid wall panel, the grid wall plate. Still, you can use continually. Okay, but actually, there's not still we can't directly use them to satisfy our very special design demands. So how about these, especially these three? You see, these are those deckers. These are the very, very complicated deckers with the okay, the gypsy line, JSON line, and some of the deckers may even requires, for example, to door opening. So how can we do that? We definitely can't directly have from the parameterized model or normal model. So what can we do here? Let me just show you this one. Okay, turn it back, still floor plan, rectangle. Yeah, first using the walls. Okay, you definitely need to have the normal doors, normal walls to have the boundary. And also, let's say we have 120, the normal thickness. Okay, drawing out, make it bigger. This time I will draw a bigger one in order to show you the basic logic. So first, still borrowed from the logic to do these two, for example, we still need to leave the gap with the door opening. Okay, so for example, if you want to leave the entire door opening, you can just drag for maximize the surface, or here this time I don't need them much. I just need one part of it. It's enough, for example, and then check about the status. Let me just limit it then. 2.3 meter. Distance from ground 0. Okay, and then next, turn to Advanced Tool, Custom Modeling. Okay. Today we are going to use the custom modeling to build up some of the content. First, still the logic. Whenever you go with the customized modeling on the wall, first to check if we have any side of the walls that need to be put it back. For example, here, since we have the entire door opening, we need to have some rectangle, okay, to draw the entire decor walls turn it back, okay, and then also You can give a push or pull 120. Just type numbers here. It will show here 120. Okay. And after finish this one, now we can draw some of the deckers. For example, see here, they are so many different deckers. They are the Jameson line. Okay, Jameson line, you need to draw them out. For example, rectangle. Okay, this time I just draw a tiny bit. Yeah. And then this is just from my roughly drawing. But the next here, if I want to stay with the same, I use the reference line to borrow as well. So rectangle, drawing. Okay. And at this moment, try not to directly give any deckers on this surface because they are all reference. They are all reference. Later, we need to separate them separately to handle with those deckers on wall. So what you need to do is click and copy. Of course, these two as well. Holding down Shift button, multi-select, copy, and put them out. Yeah. And also you can see here, we still use the rectangle to draw, but here this time we do the operation outside the wall. Okay, use the rectangle, click from the edge, and then using this XY plane to lock, and try to draw outside. Try to draw outside, not inside. Okay, within inside there will be some of the mistakes. So outside will avoid some error. Click. Yeah, this is the section surface of the gypsum line. And then use the arc. Okay, here, for example, to draw 35. Okay, and then move your mouse. Now we have the arcade and then the number of the edges. For the edges, try not to get it uh, too less. For example, 12 is really roughly drawing, but if you turn to 30, it's fine. It will be smooth, okay, more smooth. And if you turn 60, maximum we can use 60, but 60 is it contains quite a lot of surface, which will really lower your computer speed. So my suggestion, 30 is enough for something like this half round, half circles, and arcade, for example, 15. Okay, and continually, if you want, you can draw the section. Even this time, if you have, you can to import. Okay, for example, to import the tab file of the session as well. You can also use like this, the file import. Okay, import the session surface. And then here, I still use the reference line to mark out. For example, this time another arc. Coming up a bit. Now click, delete the useless lines here also. Okay, now we have this kind of a section surface and duplicate from point to point. Just make sure on the line and don't put at the border. Okay, don't put like this. Don't put at the border. Just put on side of this, on side of the same side of the edges. And then what you need to do is use the sweep. Here we got the sweep. Click. Okay, first click the roots. These are the roots. And then the second time, sweep. Click the section surface. Now you form out one of the shape. This is the decker lines, the James lines. And also here the same. Click, sweep, click that. Okay. So since we already have this kind of decker, delete the use list, enter rectangle. Now we have this. And then don't forget to give a reference line to mark out the point, because later you might miss this one. You might miss the position. Just mark out the endpoint and also delete the line, because any extra lines will cause later the calculation error. What you need to do is just mark out this one, okay? And then holding down the shift button, double click, group them. This as well, holding down shift button, group here as well. I just directly holding down shift button, double click, group, shift button, double click, group. Yeah. Now you have this kind of a combination and duplicate. My personal preference, I don't like to use the move because I can't see clearly which is the snapping point. Snapping point is hard to tell, so I use the here duplicate because I can see the arrow of my mouse. So put it here, you see, intersection point, which means actually it's in the correct position. Okay, this one temporarily we don't need it, but you can still leave. Okay, you can still leave to this one to the corner because later we might use that. So don't get hurry to delete that. And then once you have this kind of decor, use the linear array. Yeah, even you can use the border on the top. Now you when you move, for example, you can see there will be the decors. See number, let's say 7 or something, maybe 6. Yeah, 6 is fine. Okay, you can move accordingly. See, once you click the linear array, click at the start point. Okay, settle with the proper position dimensions using the table. See, for example, 1.1 meter, I think is enough. Seeing the result. Okay, after everything settled, click enter. Now we have the decor with the door turning back and with these decors. That's not the end. If you want to have a really proper doors, see the door opening. Yeah, of course, here you can also continue drawing. I just simplify them something like this, okay, or something like this. I just need to open one side of the doors. So the easiest way using the rectangle, we need to draw the frame still on the we get star on the surface of the drawing at the corner with the same side of the walls. And for example, here you got the length and the width. For example, with the here length 1.1 meter, width let's say not that big, 1.9 meter. Okay, approximately a door like this. And then what you need to do here, do the offset. Click to move your mouse. You see, now it's moving. Okay, you can just click to within that. This is the door opening gap. For example, the gap is really thin. The offset distance, you can't just directly give a really big one. Okay, small. Let's say 5 millimeter only. Okay, and delete the enter, the center, delete the center. And now we can have the kind of area, the frame, the door, something like the door frame. And then you can use the push and pull to click and create. This one you can draw a big one. Yeah, really big. Okay. And then holding down the shift button, still double click and group them. See, now actually you can move to the different positions, but I still insist that leave a sample. Just leave a sample here. For example, I want to dig the hole for the door here. So still reference line, borrow any lines from the existing walls. For example, I put it here. Let's say I will like to open one door from this point to this point. Okay, so door frame here, everything prepared. Copy, duplicate the endpoint. This is the endpoint. Click to put. Okay, the first one, let the system auto select. auto snap to the intersection point, and move forward to cut. The first cutting using here, the subtract here, subtract to delete the back. Now actually we separate them, okay, separate from the walls to the door opening holes, and still continually again click, duplicate, a point to the point. This time we cut the jersey decoration. For example, still turn to the endpoint, okay, try to let the system to have the endpoint, okay, to have the endpoint, and also to move dimension, moving just throughout all this. So you can draw a very deep, very deep door frame, and then just continually to cut, right? And also something like this one, you can use the subtract to click the deckers. And now actually it's finished cutting. If the cutting is finished, and then holding down shift button, oh sorry, you need to just ungroup them. Okay, ungroup them before you group all the entire thing. Now holding down shift button, multi-select, okay, to double click, you can select this entire doors. This is the fake door, and move. See, it really feels like cutting one piece of the cake, right? And actually you already have this kind of decker. Of course, from the backward side, you can still change the depth, for example, the thickness. Yeah, this is some door panel, something like door panel. It definitely won't be so the same thickness as the walls. Okay, and finally, still holding back, double click, group them, and then with angles as well. For example, here, rotate, put into the proper position, and done. See, actually, we almost finished the creations. Of course, here the same, holding down Shift button, grouping, and then what you need to do, give the material. Yeah, always leave the material at the last. So you can give, for example, the pavings, colors. Uh, Let me check. Mapping stone floorings. This is the paving methods, and this is the common, okay, constructions. Just click and put paintings. Okay, for example, to click, click, put, click and put, and done. Actually, just like this, it's enough for the deckers, right? For other parts, you can also save that and then to pave outside the decker, outside these tools. It is custom modeling. And also, don't forget, if you really insist, yeah, we do have uh, some material component for example, doorknob. Yeah, searching for doorknob. And the interesting thing is that some of the door handle, yeah, some of the really interesting thing lies here. For example, once you click, you can find it's quite different comparing some of the normal models. See, these are the normal models. This is something you might familiar with the 3D rotate. But how about this one? You have another function here. Actually, it's this is the model that from the SketchUp. from the created by the SketchUp and upload in the public library, which means once you click that, you can do the manual editing again. For example, to do the modification, to do the changings. So here, let me change again first for the dimension. So, okay, the dimension here, change to the vertical angles, and also with the proper dimension according to the status of the doors. Then switch to editable. This one still pave. And here you see, actually what you need to do is just to move here. And even at this moment, you can continually to do the editing. For example, ungroup to do the modification. Unlike those normal models, these actually are the default file from the SU. Yeah, so you can also put it like that. And also you can check in 2D to check about the angle, checking angles. Yeah, and then put onto the surface of the wall of the door. Yeah, this will be something really with the really precise working at first, and then take a look at the 3D to see if it is available. And even this moment, if you want, you can also do like this. Here, copy from point to point. See, I want to dig the holes, for example, so I can do it again. Subtract. Here is some combining with some combining, so it's unable to do the subtract. Ungroup, holding down the holding down shift button. Or you just need to dig the hole. Put in here. Also make it thicker, and then to put onto that into some proper angles and click finish. Still, there are some of the material just missing to pave. I forgot to pave here. Click pave. Okay, finish. So as you can see here, actually we can create this kind of element. And finally, if you want to handle with the boundary, my suggestion, turn to material component for help. Yeah, because here we can have the multi-phase connection. Click. You see, actually in this tool, it's hidden away. Combine this to this. Now they are within the unique area. They share exactly the same areas. And what you have is finished. Yeah. The same logic if you have any waistlines or the token moldings, you still can turn to advanced tool for the custom modeling to draw and then to do this, okay, to do this subtraction. The key thing is that first, the drawing of this outer frame, you need to draw outlines. I've already tried. If you draw within that, frequently it will cause some of the errors that you can't use the subtraction. And the second here, always leave the demo or don't delete it unless you finish everything, then delete. Okay, before that, leave the demos here and then use the duplicate to the certain point. Now actually we finish this. Yeah. Okay. So I believe from this kind of demo, you know how to do with these kind of deckers. See, yeah, and also why we not just directly draw the wall, entire wall by using the custom modeling is because you see actually still you will have some of the decker on the ceiling, on the wall, on the floor. And if you don't draw out the outer frame, it will bother you when you do the ceiling decoration. So that's why actually I still suggest these are actual walls. Yes, this is just only the doors. But if you want, try to still try to draw with the walls and then put the door opening with the area for the decoration. Okay. And don't forget to turn it back. For example, the custom modeling. Yeah, for other area paving, for example, the material. You can also save them. And yeah, this one. Yeah, to collect. Okay, collect to mine and check if you can have in the personal favorite and then click to put. Or you can use the Coohom material brush as well. Yeah. The viewing here maybe is different, but actually still you will have the okay, have the same. It's just in the different. Yeah. Or you can directly draw the entire wall again. Still the same. For example, turn back, custom modeling. Yeah. Continually to draw one of the big area as well. And then to have the boundary drawing, delete, and pave. Still the same. Material brush and finish. Still the same. You can have these all unique deckers and then here delete after you finish all this. Okay. So any questions? Any questions? What? Anything that you want support? You want me to support you? What is that? You can raise your questions. Any questions? And also, some of you before this class just raised a question asking if we can do some of the balconies, the round balconies. So actually, I can here to show you, for example, you can directly first use the arc wall. Okay, either draw like this one. Let me turn back to 240. Click, click, and draw. Okay, just control it and then click to break. If you want any area to link within the interior, so you can draw somewhat like this, or you can also, for example, to give the sliding doors, and then click this area. This is the balcony boundaries. So you can custom the height, and here you can have the proper result now. If you don't want to see the ceiling, you see actually we have the ceilings. If you don't want, click. This is balcony. There are no ceiling at all. So you can find some of the decors here, right? Even for this corner is also available. For example, the arc, okay, turn to 45 degree, and also draw something like this one. Also break them, straight walls. First I delete this, okay, and turn it straight walls to the point. And here, give the doors, sliding door or double door, it's up to your choice. And then also you can see, click around, customize. You can also adjust accordingly here with the height. Okay, and then finally click balcony, no ceiling. See, and even for the moment, you can also click. Let me just skip to 50. But this time, if I want to have some of the decors of the railings, advanced tool, custom modeling. Yeah, let me show you something. Okay, so for example, if you want to directly have a kind of railings, but you need to have or let all these elements stay within the same dimension and the same position according to the basing, you can use the rectangle to draw. For example, I just roughly draw one circle. Here to have the circle, number of edges. Don't get too much. 35, I think is enough for 80. Okay, and push and pull. Draw in some basic railings. .2 meter. See, you can even do like this to rotate and have some of the decorations. And also linear. Let's say 25. And then rectangle. Controlling the sections. drawing out a proper rectangles, for example, to form out the handrail. I just roughly draw something really simple. Don't get too much detail. I don't have too much details here. Okay. Make sure it's on the correct surface. Draw to fully cover at least. Yeah. Okay. And after that, group. Okay. Group all this, and then just pay attention about the operation here. For example, you can use this kind of lattice function. It's called the arc segment of the reference line. Yeah. And click the endpoint to the endpoint and draw the big one, the big on edge reference line. Number of edges, maximize 60, and then to put onto the correct position. Oh, I didn't get the correct site. Yeah, I need to have, yes, I need to have here the point to point. Here you can use the material plus wireframe to see clear arc segment. Just use the same point, okay? Same point to the same point, yes. And now move, okay? To make sure that you you can fully cover the boundary. Turn it back. And now to put this component, the construction component, to put at the proper position, and use this really helpful function called the pass bend. Yeah, it will bend according to the rounds. Now click this one and then click the path, and you need to wait. You need to wait a bit. Okay. After everything finished, click empty area, and also you can have the tessellation for 100. Let's say, yeah. You can also have the stretch, and also based on the rounds, because now you see it's cut into phrases. But if you turn to 100, just waiting for a few seconds, it will be more smooth. Okay. And also you can click apply to the model, and it will look better. And then this is a normal model. Even at this moment, you want to change the scale, we can continually do as the normal grouped model. For example, a bigger size, change that here as well, bigger size. Yeah, let me do it again. Oh, no, rotate the scale. For example, you can also use this one, make it bigger to move with the, let's say, 1.05, y as well, 1.05. Okay, and click. After finish, you can also continue to change the position, get to the really precise angle. After that, click finish, or you want material as well. After click finish, you can see actually we can have the really beautiful roots of the railing. This is from the default, this you can generate. So it will be really free for the drawings. Okay. So any questions? If no, then I think we can end it up here. Yeah, because this is some of the functions, the latest release. You can have the balcony and also the handrail as well. And don't forget today, the main task for us, the concealed doors. Yeah, even at this moment, if you want to see from the doors, you can manually to do the modification as well. Okay, so if no more questions, I think today we can end it up here. Yeah, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time, and goodbye.